if there's one thing I like about Build Back Better, is that it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing. Look, tax on billionaires, and I'm going to use that in quotes because you know it's not just going to apply to them, it'll apply to every single person. Unrealized gains will likely be in budget package, Democrats say. Unrealized gains is what you'll be paying on. Unrealized gains. I can't view the full article, and I'm not paying Wall Street Journal for that. But oh my gosh. So it says here, the proposal, which would likely affect fewer than 1,000 of the wealthiest U.S. taxpayers, would help pay for Biden's social policy and climate legislation. Okay, first of all, I do not believe that it's just going to apply to the wealthy people. It's going to apply to every single person. You know that it is. You know there's going to be some sneaky tactic that they have in there so that you'll be able to be taxed. So the government that steals your money, takes your money, and they use it for things that you don't agree with, you don't approve of, you don't want, and they spend that money on ridiculous things. So what is unrealized gains? That means if you're an investor, let's just use a very basic example for the standard type of investor. You have a stock portfolio. Let's just say you buy 10 shares of Apple. Okay? You have 10 shares of Apple. Let's say you bought them for $100. Let's say by the end of the year, Apple stock is $125. That means you gained $25 per share that you owned, which means you own 10 shares. That's $250 that you have gained. That is unrealized gains because you have not sold it. It's very possible that the next year could be bad for Apple and it could go down below 100, which means you are in the negative, that you actually lost money. But the fact that you're not selling it means it has not solidified the gains and it has not, gains or losses, okay? So they want to tax the wealthy people for unrealized gains, meaning they probably have millions and millions of dollars in the stock market. They are gaining tons and tons of money through various stocks that they own. And then they're going to be taxed on all this sort of stuff that they have not even sold yet. That is money that they're not even able to access. It's not like a checking or savings account where you can just use your debit card, write a check, or whatever else. That's not what this is like. This is something that you have to sell in order to access it. You can't just I'm going to go into a store and I'm going to trade 3 Apple stock for my groceries. You can't. It doesn't work that way. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. So you have to sell it in order to actually capitalize on those gains, which is why it's called capital gains tax. When you actually sell it and you make a profit, then you pay the tax on the difference between where you bought it and where you sold it. This is proposing unrealized gains, meaning for someone like me who doesn't really have too much money in the stock market, I have a small amount compared to all these billionaires and everything, just like a few thousand, not really too much. So I put that money in there. I've gained, 50%. I've gained, 50% of my portfolio. It's not quite doubled, but it's half of that has increased. I'll be paying taxes on that when that's not my money to use. I could sell it and use it, but I'm not selling it. I'm not selling those stocks because I want them to continue to grow. Why should I have to pay taxes on something that I don't actually have access to that money? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it really doesn't. And if you think that it's just going to apply to the billionaires, yeah, you got something else coming, because that's not only going to apply to them. Of course it's not. Now here's the other thing. What about all these billionaires, 1,000 billionaires? Let's just say they're like, oh, I don't want to be taxed on this. I'm out. I'm selling all my stock. And you sell so many shares that you have a lot of these big tech companies, a lot of these big companies that weigh the indexes, the S&P, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, people sell out of those. All these billionaires sell out, and then everything comes down because one of those things, when you buy, the price goes up. When you sell, the price goes down. And the more shares that you have, the more it's going to impact it. So you have to think, all these billionaires have probably loads of shares. You sell those out, and then you have a major decrease in Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Netflix, Tesla, all these big popular ones that really weigh the indexes. Sell out of all of those, and then you have what appears to be like a stock market, a type of crash. All these people selling. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, what is their idea? Like, okay, if you're going to tax these billionaires, what makes you think that they're not just going to sell out before you pass this bill? It doesn't make any sense at all. What it is that the government is greedy, and their greed is shown. They don't know how to spend their money. This is like if you know someone who just like frivolously throws around their money, and then they're asking other people for money. Like, hey, I need some money. I can't pay my bills. Well, what about that paycheck that you get? Oh, I spent that on, I got my hair done. I got my nails done. I went on a vacation. I went to the tanning bed. It's like, I went to concerts. I went to all this other stuff. It's like, don't you think you should have prioritized your bills first? No, that's always last priority. That's what the government is like. They ask you all for, actually they don't ask you all for money. They demand the money from you. You willingly give them your money. We all do. You pay the taxes. That's what we all do. And then what do? They take that money and they use it for things that destroy the economy more, that don't work in your favor, that make things even worse for you. So what do they do here? Oh, we must now take more money from people so we can bring this bill about here that's going to destroy the economy even more. It's going to tax people even more. And I'm sure maybe some of you have heard about the whole thing with they will monitor any bank account that has over $600. You think that applies to the wealthy people? That applies to people like you and me who have $600 or more in their bank accounts. I would just say open up tons of bank accounts and put like $599 in there. Just have like 15, 20 different bank accounts and just put $599 in there, if that's what you want to do. But they want to monitor it because let's say you get a deposit from something, or you're transferring money to someone, you're paying for something. Let's say you gift someone like $1,000 for like, it's a special birthday, it's a special Christmas gift, you're giving them some money to pay for a car maybe, or a house. Oh, the government wants their share of that. You pay someone $1,000, that's a gift. That is technically taxable. But how many people actually report that? How many people actually report that? Do you report it? Do you know anyone who reports that? Honestly, people who report that, it's probably not many. It's probably not many. I'm sure some people do, but it's probably not many. But why would you want to pay the government for that stuff anyway? Not only that, I just don't understand this whole thing. It's just, this is not the government's money. If I work hard for my money, the government should have no say in taking my money. But that's what they do. They take the money. They take it. They steal it and then they put it. It would be different if they actually were doing things that I agreed with. But they aren't. They're putting it into crap. They're putting it into nonsense that you don't agree with. So, yep, that was all. So I'm just really curious to see what your thoughts are on this, because it is just absolutely just ridiculous. You can't tax someone on unrealized gains that they don't even own yet. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, will the government owe them money if they lose money? It just doesn't make any sense. But just greed. It's just pure greed, and their greed is showing. Their greed is absolutely showing. So that was all. You all take care. Have a great one, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.